Hi y'all, this is Larry at Deep South Texas. It's April 15th and the garden is really shining. Let's take a look. Well, the tomatoes, as you can see, are doing great. We have lots and lots of fairly nice sized tomatoes growing. None of them have turned red yet, but it won't be long. So at least on this side of the garden, I've put up bird netting. I'm not sure that shows up for the camera. Bird netting and some shade cloth up here. We've had 2 days already this year where the temperature has been over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So trying to provide a little bit of cooling, not too much I don't think, but keep some of that sun off. And because it's been so dry here at Deep South Texas, the birds are looking for something to wet their whistle, and tomatoes are what they like. Now, they'll normally wait till it's till they're a little bit more ripe, but once they turn pink, those birds will be all over them. So I'm hoping that this bird netting helps out there. It is a real pain to work with. It gets caught on everything. And here we have our first cucumber of the season. I'm a little bit late in getting it picked. My wife's been wanting me to harvest this for the last 5 days, but I said, no, this cucumber wants to be a YouTube star, so it's got to wait till I do my next video. Anyway, number one for the year. There are a lot more coming on, nothing of this size though. And the pole beans I also have on this trellis, they're doing fine. A couple of them have reached the top of the trellis and they're putting on flowers, and I'm just beginning to see a couple small beans. We have some bush beans in the other garden, and they're a little bit ahead of these. They're putting on small beans already as well. And in this bed, I have, 1, 2, 3, I think I have about eight pepper plants. On that end, a couple jalapenos, a couple California Wonders, a couple cayennes, and a couple Anaheims. And they all look to be doing well. Let's get a closer look at those peppers. And here are jalapenos. Got some nice peppers coming on, and that's going to be great. The California Wonders, which is a bell pepper, they're just beginning to flower. I see one small bell pepper starting here, maybe another one up here, but they're coming along nicely as well. The cayennes are doing great. Lots of pepper pods, and the Anaheims are looking good as well. Some pretty nice peppers already on the Anaheims, and they're just getting started. And here's another Anaheim I have planted over in this barrel. That's a nice looking pepper. More peppers in this bed. Here is a Sugar Rush peach. They're putting out peppers. There's actually 3 of those plants in this bed. There's another California Wonder, and it's got a little bit bigger pepper started on it now. And some more jalapenos down here. The elephant garlic looks like it's doing well, but I'm a little bit worried about this right here, because that looks like an elephant garlic shoot, and I'm afraid that might mean that the bulb has started to break up. So I'm going to have to dig into one of these this week and see how far along they are. So we've cut down our banana trees from last year, and what we have left are the pups that have come up. I'm going to have to selectively take out most of these pups. I only want 3, because 3 trees is all I want to have to deal with here. So I'll be picking the best ones out of each group and take the rest of them out. We did cut off that bunch of bananas that was growing on one of the trees, and the tree was basically dead. So we cut it down and hung it up here. We're going to see if any of these bananas mature. My guess is that they won't, but we're going to give them a chance. I've harvested all the cabbages out of this bed. I'll be amending this soil and building it up a little bit, and then I will be planting sweet potatoes. So I've got plenty of slips growing down here. I think that's enough for this bed, and hopefully this week I'll get that job done. I'll leave an info card up below to show you how I planted these last year, and I'll be following the same steps. The onions that I planted from seed are all bulbing up nicely. Some of them I have a little bit too close together, but that'll be okay. These probably have about another month until it's time to harvest, but they're looking good right now. Again, I'll leave a card up above about when I planted these. I think it was early in November, but I planted these from seed. My wife's onions, we planted in this bed. These were planted from plants, so they're a little bit more evenly spaced, but the Georgia onions are starting to bulb up, and the red onions haven't really started bulbing up yet. But there's some 10-15 onions, and they're beginning to bulb up now. The dill has more or less been under caterpillar attack for the last 3 weeks. They haven't done a lot of damage, but they're here. The horseradish was looking a little sick after our cool weather, but it's coming back and it's looking good. We have more tomatoes on this side of the garden. And they're beginning to put on some size as well. And the bush green beans, they're doing great. Lots of little beans coming on. We should be picking these in a week. The yellow summer squash are doing great. Lots of them coming on. And even the green zucchini. There are several of them that we'll be ready to pick this week. The onion chives look great. They're all flowering right now. A big bunch of them. And the garlic chives, they're looking good as well. My wife planted a couple barrels of flowers in the garden. Basically, she can't put them in her garden because the chickens eat them up. Scratch them out, but try to keep the chickens out of here, and they're doing well. The potatoes are starting to look a little bit old in the tooth. We've harvested a few plants already, and the potatoes are a nice size and they taste great. Let's dig up another one. So these are the Red Pontiac potatoes. We also have Kennebecs growing, and we haven't really started harvesting those yet, but let's see what we got with these Red Pontiacs. So far my wife's been pretty lucky with the harvest here. Well, nothing came up when I pulled them up. Uh-oh. Oh, there's one. Kind of a small one. Another small one, a nice size one here. This is what we have been getting, about 3 or 4 on every plant. So those are pretty nice. Let's see if we got some more in there. Oh yeah, there's another one. A nice size potato. Well, that looks like about it for this plant. It's a nice harvest. We'll let these grow a little bit longer and see how they do. So the garden here in the middle of April at Deep South Texas is just beautiful. But the star are those tomatoes. It won't be long till we start harvesting these beauties. And in fact, we've already laid in a generous supply of bacon at ridiculously high prices, I might add, to get ready for BLT season, which won't be long off. The drip irrigation system is working well. It's all installed now, and everything is buried, looking good. Initially I had it set up to run twice a day at 20 minutes each time. But since I've reduced that time to 12 minutes, we're going to see how that works out. So the garden here at Deep South Texas is about ready to hit its peak production level. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it that thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.